Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we are diving deep into those tricky little words that end in self or selves. You know the ones I'm talking about. You see them everywhere, right? But using them the right way, well, that can be surprisingly tricky. So let's clear it all up.
Okay, let's start with a question that trips up, well, pretty much everyone. I did it myself versus I did it by myself. What is the real difference here? By the time we're done, you're not just going to know the answer, you'll understand exactly why it's the answer.
So, first things first, before we can get into the really tricky parts, we've got to cover the absolute basics. What are these words, and what's their main job in a sentence? Okay, so here's the number one rule you have to remember. The person doing the action is also the person on the receiving end of that action. It's why they're called reflexive. Think of a mirror. The action literally reflects right back onto the person who started it. Now, this is basically your foundation. The most important pattern to notice is how we switch from self for just one person, like I or he, to selves when we're talking about more than one, like we or they. Just getting that little detail right is a huge first step. In this example right here, it's perfect. It shows the rule in action. So who did he teach? It wasn't a tutor. It wasn't a classmate. Nope, he taught himself. The subject, which is he, and the object, himself, are the exact same person. All right, so we've got the basics down. Now let's look at how these pronouns actually get used. It turns out they have two very, very different jobs they can do in a sentence. So this slide lays out the two jobs side by side. Look at the left side, the reflexive use. That word herself is totally essential. If you take it out, the sentence is just, she's talking to, and that's not a complete thought. But on the right side, it's all about adding emphasis. I did it is a perfectly fine sentence. But when you say I did it myself, well, that just adds a little extra punch, doesn't it? So here is a super simple but really effective test. If you're ever looking at one of these words and you're not sure what it's doing, just try taking it out of the sentence. Its job is going to become crystal clear. Let's give it a try. Now, in this case, the word themselves is really just there to highlight how surprising the situation is. It's emphasizing that, hey, even the experts, the teachers, are totally confused here. So what do you think happens to the meaning and the grammar if we just lift that word right out of the sentence? Is the whole thing going to fall apart? See, it works perfectly. The main idea is still completely there. Yeah, we lose that little bit of surprise, that extra oomph, but this sentence is grammatically solid. And that's how you know for sure that themselves was just there for emphasis. Okay, let's circle all the way back to that question that got us started, that tiny, subtle difference between doing something by myself and on my own. This really is a subtle distinction. By myself almost always just means you are physically alone with no one else around. On my own can mean that, but it can also be used to show off your independence, to show that you did something without any help from anyone. But here's the real key takeaway. Don't overthink it. Seriously. In so many everyday situations, like fixing a car, both phrases mean pretty much the exact same thing, and you can use either one. Okay, now it's time to talk about some of the most common mistakes people make. And this first one, this one is so common that you will hear native speakers make it all the time, usually when they're trying to sound a little more formal or professional. This is the big one. People love to use myself when they really should be using I or me. Here's the ultimate test, and it works every single time. Just take the other person out of the sentence. You would never say, myself will be available. You'd say, I will be available. The rule doesn't change just because you add somebody else's name in there. Now, this one is a bit of a newer issue. As the singular they gets more and more common, this word themself has started to pop up in conversations. And it kind of makes sense, right? One person, so self. But from now, if you're doing any kind of formal writing or taking an exam, you should definitely stick with the traditional themselves. All right, for our final point, let's zoom out just a little bit. We're going to compare these reflexive pronouns to another type that can cause a whole lot of confusion, reciprocal pronouns. Now, both of these sentences are perfectly correct, grammatically speaking, but their meanings are worlds apart. The first one, my parents love themselves, kind of suggests that my mom loves herself and my dad loves himself. The second one is about the love they share for each other. See the difference? So here's the real difference. A reflexive pronoun is like that mirror we talked about. The action just reflects back. But a reciprocal pronoun, that's more like a game of catch, where the action goes back and forth between people. And this chart just sums it all up perfectly. The reflexive action is internal. It points back to whoever started it. The reciprocal action is external. It's being passed between the subjects. It really all just comes down to the direction of that action. So, now you know the rules. What do you think? Which common mistake do you think you're going to spot first? I guarantee you're going to start noticing these pronouns everywhere now. The good, the bad, and the emphatic. You've now got a much deeper insight into how English really works.